What's up guys, first of all thanks for subscribing to my channel and thanks for your love and support. If you are new to this channel then please go ahead and smash the subscribe button to get new videos that I post regularly on information security. So in this video we are going to talk about one of the bug bounty POC that is founded by one of the security researcher named as Patrick, and he was able to find this particular vulnerability and get a bounty worth 33,500 USD. So first of all he enumerated the target website and he figured out that the website was running Jolo, and then using some of the tool like Directory Buster or Go Buster, he able to figure out some of the URL which are containing some of the detailed verbose information like the which version it is running and other stuff. So after figuring out the version of the Jolokia that it is running, he started looking for the known vulnerability associated with the Jolokia version, and he figured out that it is vulnerable to XSS and things like remote code execution and other stuff, right? So then what he did is he started applying the known exploit on the particular target website. I think the first one was related to XSS, in which you can change the content type, which was by default content type application/JSON, and he was able to change it to text/HTML and cause an XSS attack. The second attack he did basically is a remote code execution, which you will understand when you go through the URL in details. And the third attack that he did basically is Java heap information disclosure, where he able to enumerate the server password and then he was able to log into the server and perform some of the remote code execution activity. So if you see here, what he did basically is he just utilized a simple misconfiguration which gave him some the version or the banner of the whatever service that it is running, and then he used multiple exploit like your XSS and JNDI injection and Java heap information disclosure to basically compromise and get more bounty out of it. So this is a pretty typical approach that everybody applies when they go for bug bounty, like after figuring out the particular version or the banner. Let's say I'm performing pen testing on a WordPress website, I figure out that it is running some version of the WordPress which is vulnerable to known attack like XSS or let's say CSRF or some known RCA. So what I do basically is I go through the website, know the vulnerability and know the exploit, how it can make work, and then apply the same on our target website. So the same strategy is followed by Patrick in order to get a bounty worth 33,500 USD.
Okay, so now let's understand how Patrick made this 30,000 USD for reporting multiple vulnerability. So he says this blog post is inspired by Gotham Security, I think, who has also made a blog post on similar Jolokia vulnerabilities like RCE and XSS. You can basically go through and you will get better idea. So he says that based on this research, I was able to earn this bounty across multiple targets. Okay, so he has reported these issues on multiple target. I guess I said some part in my video that one target, so my bad. He has reported these issues on multiple target to earn this bounty. So if I scroll down, so he says this blog post in two sections. The first part describes the main functionality of Jolokia as well as how to set up the environment. So we'll be not going through the setting of environment in details. Probably I'll just skip through in short, and then we'll understand this vulnerability. The second part, which is like how we able to use those CVEs or the known exploit to target this Jolokia application. So the installation, first of all, it needed Jolokia, which is nothing but an JMX bridge like Java Management Extension. So I have already performed some of the security assessment in past, which is based on this JMX, where I was able to perform some of the remote code execution or JMX console based exploitation. Probably you can Google and you will get to know about it. It's not that difficult. So now he says like Jolokia is an JMX bridge which allows user to perform certain actions based on HTTP GET and POST request using JSON. So this Jolokia is typically used for monitoring purpose and reporting about Java memory consumption, CPU usage and all those stuff, right? So again here he has clearly mentioned that he has used tool like FFUF or dir search. Again I suggest you can use Go Buster, Directory Buster also in order to enumerate all these kind of directories that you might find. Even if you have Burp Pro, then you can use that Burp Pro also, like discovery content or different mapping, and find out all those hidden directory. Now he figured out that if the target installed on extension using Tomcat, the service usually find on 8080. Yeah, if it is HTTPS, then 443. Now the next setup is you need to do this Ubuntu. So with the minimal installation, things like SSH and all those things which you have to enable. and then he used this Tomcat installation and the configuration, which you can go through basically if you are setting up with some password and other thing. The third part is like using this Jolokia. Again, he has clearly mentioned that you have to install this vulnerable version 1.3.4, which is having known vulnerabilities. So you have to basically go to this particular manager URL and then click on deploy OR file, which will install this Jolokia application on this particular kind of URL if you're setting up, right? The next part is, or the second part is your common box and exploitation. So if you go to this URL, which says like public Jolokia exploits, and you can see there are three vulnerabilities which has already mentioned, like XSS. Let's open them one by one and read them. So the first one is XSS. An XSS vulnerability exists in Jolokia agent version 1.3.7 in the HTTP servlet that allows an attacker to execute malicious JavaScript in the victim browser. So you can go through this link, probably understand more better. And the next one is a flaw was found in Jolokia version 1.2 to before 1.6.1, which means your this version is also included here, like 1.3.7. Affected version are vulnerable to system-wide CSRF, yeah, CSRF all over the application. The next is this holds true for properly configured instances with strict checking for origin and referrer headers. This could result in remote code execution also, right? So this is also one of the hint which you can use for performing a remote command execution kind of attack. Now the third link is like CSRF attack before 1.2.1, which allows attacker to hijack authentication of user for requests that execute mbeans methods via crafted web page. So it is like similar to CSRF attack. Now note it is existing on 1.2.1, not in 1.3. Now let's go to this POC to understand this better. Now he also says if you're setting up, then you can use this cheap BPS. Again, I will not go through in details. If you want to try, you can set up on your own. Okay, then the final this of some of these command that you need to run to make the thing started. So the basic information gathering, this is the first phase of the bug bounty, or I would say the main phase where he able to curl to a URL like jolokia/version, and he was able to get the details about this service that is running. So you could see here the agent is 1.3.4, protocol 7.2. The important part is policy location, which is specifying the path where your jolokia-access.xml file is there. Most importantly, it's leaking the server path basically, right? Now if I scroll down, I guess a debug is false. Agent type sublet, we know this sublet XSS, right? Now if you could see here, the agent version is 1.3.4. True. The important part is searching for CVs depend on identifying the affected version. So as I said, these other two will be applicable, wherein I think this 1.2 might not be. So over here you can see the one of the example where he says like CB 201810000130, in which the description says like a JNDI injection vulnerability exists in Jolokia agent version 1.3.7 in proxy mode that allow an attacker to run arbitrary Java code on the server, right? So this will be an remote code execution kind of bug. Now he says like another interesting piece from the Jolokia response is like policy location, I guess, which you saw now. This one Apache Tomcat, which is this Tomcat path, and yeah, which says the path basically, and also the debug mode. So as a part of information gathering, the next curl command that he run is basically jolokia/list, which will list all those methods which are allowed, or I think some of the functionality that is been allowed. So he says like Jolokia support three basic operation like exec, read, search kind of stuff. He also slight bit talk about this mbeans. You can read through in details. So the first thing that he did basically is conduct and reflected XSS. So the script, due to the fact that meme type could be arbitrarily set by an attacker, which I said earlier in the beginning. So meme type to return the response. By default, this is text/plain, but this can be useful for some tools to change to application/json. Init parameter can be used to change the default meme type. So he just changed the meme type to text/html as per the application behavior, and then he was able to make a XSS attack directly. So right, you can see here. The second thing is exploiting the remote code execution. As I said, he used this JNDI injection vulnerability inside Jolokia agent version 1.3.7. So in short, Java naming and directory interface or JNDI is a Java API for a directory service such as app, which I can use them for like performing using this kind of mbeans for performing an RMI based invocation and making this as an remote code execution, right? So this is the typical command that he ran, like java-jar target and rogue JNDI jar, then command whatever the server IP address, then host name and your attacking server, right? Which basically create a LDAP service on your server and prepare the payload to be delivered to the Jolokia service. Again, using this method, you can basically run command like nslookup, host name, perform a remote code execution, which you did basically finally to make and listen to get a reverse shell basically using this netcat. So you can go through this post method body request, which clearly speaks about the type, the mbeans, the URL, and all those things, right? Which also gave him a remote code execution kind of. So the third thing is Java heap information disclosure. So again, he used one of the mbeans, I guess, for dumping the heap area. So heap area is basically used for dynamic memory allocation for Java object at the runtime. So he tried to dump the heap area like using heap dump, and then he able to see what all information those are there inside the heap dump. And if you scroll down, probably you will see all those different methods and parameter that has been set here. So you could see one of the parameter is like authorization basic, which you can of course decode to get a clear text value, and dump the password, and then you can perform this war file based remote code execution. So I have already made a similar video on this war file based remote code execution. In my videos, I will give a link. You can go through that. So this is a nice write-up done by Patrick. So I'm sure you will find it very interesting if you go through this entire stuff. Really nice write-up and really nicely explained about all those approach that he used basically to get this bounty.
So this is the brief story about how Patrick got 33,500 USD for reporting multiple vulnerability on that particular target website. So I hope this video would have helped you to understand how Patrick used this multiple enumeration technique to get a bounty worth 33,000 USD. So for more videos, please do click on the subscribe button. If you have questions or anything, do write in the comment box. We can definitely discuss, and have a great day. Thank you.